Hi guys, so in the recent weeks I've gotten some requests to do a review of the facelifted Honda Jazz, and here it is. Okay, so this is not new in our market, and as I record this, interestingly enough, the timing, all right, as I record this is just after the day after Toyota had launched the all-new Yaris, but before I have driven it. So as I record this, all right, we know about the Yaris, we know what it has on paper, but we don't quite know what the Yaris has in terms of its driving experience. We only speculate that it presumably drives like the Vios, but we have not experienced the car on the road yet. Okay, whereas we have with this. Okay, so now price wise, right, variant to variant, the Jazz and the Yaris. The Jazz, each variant is cheaper than the Yaris by small amounts, but not significant enough to make major to have major impact on your monthly repayment. We are talking about differences of maybe like a few ringgit a month, maybe less than 50 ringgit a month kind of difference. Okay, so this facelifted Jazz has been around the market for some time. The appearance of this car really should need no introduction, but I'll just briefly run through some external styling details. All right, so as standard, all variants of the Jazz, halogen reflector headlamps. All right, and here you get LED daytime running lights, and with this facelift, they've also refined the appearance of the grille, so you've got a mix of chrome here as well as gloss black elements. All right, and so at the side here, no changes to the rim design. Still, in this case of the top spec model 185/55/16, right, you get keyless entry here, and you get, well, side mirror integrated signal lamps, nothing new here at the back. Okay, so this is the tail end. Once again, no major changes. They've redone the bumper, but that aside, you recognize this immediately, well, as a Jazz. Okay, so I've always wondered what the Jazz would look like if Honda had not because this part of it, right, this is just a reflector element. This one has no lighting function, so I'm always curious to know how would the car look like without this red part. How would it look, guys? Any of you have done any modifications to this part? Okay, maybe you have painted it body color or black or gloss black, whatever. Okay, and yeah, so here we have it from the outside. This is the Jazz as we have always known it. Okay, no major changes. Of course, when it comes to the Jazz, right, okay, the magic of this car is always on the inside. The Jazz, from the first generation, has always been famous for its interior packaging. Because look at this car, right, from the outside, external dimensions of this car, it is a smaller car than the Yaris, but it manages to feel more spacious inside. We'll start by opening the boot. Okay, so see here the boot. At one glance, this boot actually looks, well, you see, the floor space, okay, based on my recollections of the Yaris, the floor space, I think this one may be slightly smaller, but the Jazz here gives you more taller loading height. Okay, but that's not the extent of its magic. Okay, so you see here, right, the Jazz has always been famous for what Honda calls its magic seats, right? So here, okay, we can topple this down. You get a nice flat floor that connects with the luggage bay. All right, you can fold this down as well, one touch. Okay, so you got a very big cargo floor, right? Or the other aspect is you can raise this, press this down, and you can use this configuration to load tall objects inside the cabin. All right, and yeah, so it's tall up here. Stop. Okay, see, the thing is that this configuration pioneered in Malaysia many years ago with with I think the second gen Honda City, and then after that as well as the Jazz. So right now today the City no longer offers this. This is only available in the Jazz. No other car maker has this on offer, because simply put, this is a design that is patented by Honda. All right, so we put the seats down, back down. Now in terms of space, right, the driver's seat is adjusted to my seating position, and what we get here, very good leg room, headroom is good, and surprisingly, right, for these seats that are designed with such utility in mind, the thigh support, I am surprised to find it is rather good. All right, the seat cushion pushes quite near to the back of my knee, and the angle really, I'm surprised that, you know, there is a good angle, and the seat back also reclines well. So I would say, right, definitely within this segment, this is the best design seats in this segment without a question. Okay, so we look at the front side of the cabin here. This is also something unique, a cup holder that folds out. All right, and well, this is the area where the Jazz really trumps its rivals. Okay, center console surprisingly wide, and very good utilization of space here. This is a, well, I got my keys here, so this is a deep storage tray. This one also, yeah, this is good enough to put, I don't know, put your keys here, maybe your smart tag. All right, this is well, this console box is shallow, but I think the amount of usable space here, it still betters that of the Yaris. Instrument cluster is relatively simple, straightforward, monochrome trip computer display. All right, and here you have a simple touchscreen system with a reverse camera. All right, a very basic reverse camera, usable, and you got a touch panel, auto climate control system here, and overall, right, material usage, right, it's distinctly average. These materials are well, hard plastics here, right, nothing to shout about. Fit and finish is okay, not outstanding, but also at the same time nothing to complain given the price tag of the car, right? So yeah, it is a distinct, as with all Hondas, a distinctly average cabin in terms of build as well as materials, but good ergonomics, great clarity, very, very easy to live with. So what is the Jazz like to drive? Well, I think by now you would have read enough reviews of this car. Certainly it is competent. It's competently engineered. Ride comfort is alright. Handling is alright. Engine feels, well, engine gives you just enough grunt to not for the car to not feel heavy or cumbersome when you take off from a traffic light. And certainly the steering, the weight is weighted light enough that, yeah, that your sharp U-turns or your 3-point turns don't turn into a gym workout. All right, so this is a car that is designed and engineered to be, firstly, easy to live with. All right, and it accomplishes that. So I mean, if you are looking for just a simple car to do all your city runarounds, right, the Jazz is a perfectly adequate and capable car for the task. And once again, the Jazz, it trumps its rivals simply by offering you so much more in terms of usable space, despite being occupying a very, very small footprint. This car, I was surprised to learn that its overall length is actually shorter than a Mazda 2, let alone the Toyota Yaris. So yet it still feels as the roomiest in its segment. So that is some packaging black magic shit there that Honda did with this car. And if you're looking for you know, for a B segment hatchback to do family duty, right, the Jazz is seriously a no-brainer. What it means is that, right, if for you to want to choose anything else, all right, in this segment, Mazda 2, Peugeot 208, or what else, Kia Rio, it is because you want some specific attributes that these cars do better than the Jazz. Because if in terms of sheer overall appeal, the Jazz is actually pretty hard to beat. It is pretty hard to complain against the overall proposition that the Jazz offers you versus its rivals. So with the arrival of the Yaris, where does that leave the Jazz? Well, if you are still looking for a car that is easy to live with, you're looking for a car with maximum interior space, you can't beat the Jazz. You cannot. There is absolutely no answer to what the Jazz has to offer in terms of interior packaging. This is such a usable day-to-day package. All right, but where the Yaris does exert a superiority over the Jazz, and this is without talking about driving. We haven't driven the Yaris yet, so we will leave that evaluation aside. But the Yaris does give, in some aspects, a better array of equipment. All right, I mean, you do get to choose what you have built. You can opt for dash cam, all right, that is pre-installed upon delivery. You have a wider array of safety features: 7 airbags, blind spot warning, 360-degree camera, that none of these features the Jazz has. So if these kind of technology, all right, and we have to say that these are some of these features that I mentioned just now were actually locally fitted by BMW Toyota Moro, and from my experience with the Vios, the integration is impressive for a locally developed system. So if these kind of things matter to you, all right, and I would say they do, they have their merits, then the Jazz actually has no answer to that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, in terms of specs and features, the Yaris has it nailed. But in terms of overall day-to-day usability, spaciousness, the Jazz still has a few tricks up its sleeves that rivals have absolutely no answer for.